We are going to talk about the new customer education team and what we're working on, how it's going to help you be better at your job, and then to go over all the other resources that Sonatype provides for our customers.
Excellent. If you'll share your screen, we'll get out of your way and you can get started.
Okay. Can you see it?
Not yet.
Oops, hold on. Okay. Now?
I see myself yet. If you, there you go, and put that in presenter mode and we should be good. You're set to go.
Okay, thank you, Mark. Okay, so this is Objective Learning, educational resources to make you a Kickass Nexus user. We'll do introduction first. Kind of already did that, but anyway, I'm Bree, and I'm a content developer on the customer education team here at Sonatype. Over the next 20-ish minutes, we're going to talk about what our team is doing to help make you a Kickass Nexus user. Our team has been working for the past 8 months or so, redefining our model to focus on the success and happiness of our customers and creating the tools you need for that success. So at the end of this session, I hope you'll walk away with some important knowledge, like who the customer education team is at Sonatype and why we're a thing. We're going to talk about our new approach to customer education and obstacles we're trying to overcome and goals we're trying to accomplish. I hope you'll also find out the kinds of educational materials that are out there, what we've made and where to find things on our new learning site. And like I said, we're also going to go over our pretty good range of resources from support, online help, community, and so on. And then finally, putting that together with how that's going to help you kick ass at your job. You'll discover how our new model is focusing on user education and making sure you can use Nexus to get your job done. At the end of this talk, we're going to do a short exercise that will give you an opportunity to influence what we work on next. And one quick shout out, if anyone is familiar with Kathy Sierra and her amazing work with user experience, yes, this title of this presentation is a nod to her book, and you should check her out if you don't know who that is. Okay, so who are we? As I previously mentioned, customer education is a newly formed team. We're part of the customer success team here at Sonatype. And we moved from the product over to customer success. And the reason for that was to take on a new endeavor and transform ourselves from simply writing docs to writing value-based content. But what does that mean? It means that we discovered that there's a real need for value-added customer education. And to do this, we had to shift our focus from the product to the customer. So we have gone from checking the box, writing product feature-based help content, which is great, by the way, and has its place in overall customer education, to focusing more on how we can help our users get the most from our products. Creating this type of value-added content means that we can inform and educate our users to give them actionable knowledge they can use to get their jobs done. So we talked about the customer education team and why we're a thing and what we're doing, but next we need to define what a Kickass Nexus user looks like. So this might be a bit of a shocker, but being a Kickass Nexus user does not mean that you are a super Nexus expert who knows our products in and out and every feature that's out there. You really don't have to be Kickass at using Nexus repository or lifecycle or firewall, because that's not what it's about. It's you want to be Kickass at your job, and you use our products because you want to be awesome at getting things done. So for us, a Kickass Nexus user is someone who knows exactly how to use our products to do exactly what they need. And this means that a Kickass Nexus user varies from organization to organization and role to role, But the bottom line is that you've been provided with the materials you need to use Nexus products for your specific needs. So we're focusing on how we can help you be better at getting things done in your job. We can write all the functional documentation we want, but that might not help you get your job done. So the customer education team is looking at making you better at using our products to do the things you really want to do. For example, instead of just showing you the steps to connect your LDAP to IQ Server, we'll teach you how to decide on the best approach to user authentication and authorization for your organization. Instead of just going through the steps to set up a repository manager, we'll provide tips on how to choose the right setup, configuration, etc., for optimal performance. Instead of just showing you how to find reports on vulnerabilities found in lifecycle, we'll show you how to enforce policies to start enacting real change. And if you're a developer, instead of just knowing how to find the component information panel in your IDE, we'll demonstrate how to use that information to remediate vulnerabilities without leaving your dev environment. All of these examples are ways that you can be kick-ass at your job by using our products effectively and efficiently for your specific purpose. So what problems do we need to solve to make this type of value-based content to help you use Nexus at your job? The main issue that we have, like basically anyone that writes customer documentation, is that we have a faceless user. Our content, everything we produce, is placed online for our users to interact with at their leisure, and we don't get to know who you are, how you're using our materials, what you think about what you see, and so on. In other professions, people are able to look at their outcomes to measure their work. For instance, lawyers can look at wins versus losses, teachers evaluate grades and student progression, and cops can look at open versus closed cases. But we're not there with you while you're learning, so we don't get these kinds of advantages, and this basically means that we really don't know if what we're producing is any good. So then how do we give you a face? In order to overcome this hurdle of a faceless user, we have to construct who you are using the means that we have available, like analytics, surveys, certifications, badging, support tickets, community, customer success engineers interactions, and try to get all the knowledge we can from these interactions with our customers on all these levels, and then apply that knowledge that we've gained to give you a face. Being able to build a face for our users means that rather than writing in a vacuum, assuming that what we do is valuable and then sending it up to the ether, we'll be able to define return on investment for each piece of content we develop based on who our users are and what they need. We'll then be able to ask ourselves for all materials, is this valuable and is that value measurable? Once we know who you are and what you want, the next step is ensuring that what we've made is working for you. So some ways that we're focusing our content to be value added are through learning objectives and assessment-based learning. Learning objectives. So our team has learned to really value the importance of learning objectives. We kind of love them. Why? Because they allow you to determine what you want people to walk away with when they use your content. I'm not going to get into a lecture on Bloom's taxonomy of learning, but I did make this fancy graphic, so we'll talk about it in a non-pedantic kind of way. Basically, Bloom's taxonomy is the model we're using to write learning objectives that describe the skills and abilities we want our learners to master and demonstrate. The model goes from the bottom up on cognitive skill level, calling attention to learning objectives that require a higher and higher level of skills. This is supposed to lead to deeper learning and transfer knowledge and skills to more tasks. So the first level is remembering, which just means that you recall what you learned. Second is understanding, when you can explain, interpret, summarize, etc., what you've learned. Next is applying, and when you get to this level, you're able to apply what you learned and execute a task or implement a method. After that is analyze, and here you're able to differentiate what you've learned with other topics and then organize that information. Fifth is evaluation, and when you evaluate, you're able to check and critique the learning objectives with what you learned. And the last step is create, and when you get to this highest level, learners should be able to plan, generate, produce, and perform some sort of action based on what they've learned. But why is this important, and why do we love them so much? Objectives or learning goals are important to establish up front so that our users understand the purpose of any given piece of content. And for our team, the customer education team, the benefits from using this as a framework to organize our content and ensure that what we're making aligns with these objectives. So in a sense, defining well thought out learning objectives shapes everything we make. In addition to learning objectives, we're doing assessment-based learning. And so while you're reading something or watching a video, you're learning. And in this act of learning, you gain knowledge, skills, work habits, etc. And then you're able to apply all of that to real-world situations. Assessment-based learning via quizzes, tests, certifications, badging provides a way for you to apply your knowledge, skills, and work habits that you learn by performing tasks that are meaningful and engaging. Remember that in our learning objective model, we want you to get to a point where you're able to analyze, evaluate, and then take some form of action based on what you've experienced. So assessment-based learning helps you take that first step by thinking critically about the subject you just learned. So this is why we provide assessments for each lesson that we're writing to give you the opportunity to test out your knowledge. And in the future, we're looking at implementing certifications and badging through our learning, and implementing a badge-based learning system for certification would let our users get recognition for their exemplary skills as a Nexus user. And that type of self-guided system is also shown to help you stay motivated to learn more and promotes a positive learning culture. So if you're interested in a certification or badging system for our products, please go to our community site and take the survey posted under the topic Customer Education, how we can help you. We'll talk a bit more about that later. Okay, so what have we made so far? So far, the customer education team has made a repository management basics module, and this is 3 lessons, all that have assessments. And then there's also a lab in the form of a repository planning worksheet. These also have embedded videos for them. So speaking of the videos, we have produced 20-ish educational videos. I should have counted them all, but I didn't. These videos are embedded in the lessons, and also they're available on the separate video page here if you just want to look at those. We've also done some technical articles like this IQ Slack webhook integration guide that shows you how to use webhooks to push a policy evaluation event up to Slack. And then there's some quick start guides, Nexus Firewall for Repo OSS, Nexus Lifecycle, Nexus Firewall, and you can find all this stuff at help.sonatype.com/learning. So you've seen what we made so far and why we're making it, but what are we working on next? So in active development, we have a Nexus Repository Manager proof of concept installation and setup module. And this is nearly ready to go out. And it takes on the same format as our Repo Basics course with all the same assessments and videos embedded in it. We're also working on an AWS Quick Start Guide for Repository Manager 3 and also an IQ Server authentication and authorization technical article that will show you how to help getting started with LDAP and reverse proxy and other types of auth in your org. after that, and down the line, we're going to start working on an article that highlights the CI/CD pipeline at Sonatype and how you can use that as an example. Repository Manager Deployment Module, it'll be the next module that we go on our series, complete with the lessons, assessments, and videos. And then our first admin certification, or our first certification will probably be repository administration. That is TBD. So we've talked a lot about our new Learning Center and what you can find there, but there's also a bunch of other great educational resources available from Sonatype. So we'll check those out now. So the first amazing resource we have is our help documentation, and you can find it at help.sonatype.com. There is a ton of information on Nexus Repository Manager and IQ Server, which is the brains behind Lifecycle and Firewall, and all of the Nexus integrations in these help docs. And these can also be accessed in product from Lifecycle and Nexus Repo. So the help docs are where you want to go to download the latest version of our products, look at release notes, or get step-by-step guidance on basically anything you're trying to do with Nexus products. For instance, if you need to know the steps to take to upgrade from Nexus Repo 2 to 3, or how to configure your IQ server, this is where you want to go. We also have some great new educational platforms being developed by our customer experience team. They've created My Sonatype and the Sonatype online community. My Sonatype is your go-to place for everything Sonatype. Seriously, all the resources we're talking about today, you can get to from there. So this gives you links to the community, our help site, the learning site, whereas our educational materials, and also customer support. You'll also see any important customer announcements, like letting you know about this conference. And then there's links to download the latest releases of our products with the release notes, and finally the latest from the Sonatype blog. And all of that is available at my.sonatype.com. The Sonatype community is a brand new online community for Nexus users, and we're hoping you will gain the knowledge and benefits of a Nexus forum where you can exchange ideas and tips, or ask questions and connect with other Nexus users and Sonatype folks. And you can access this community at community.sonatype.com. Okay, so after that, we also have some great educational resources from our support team, Sonatype Marketing, and the Nexus Exchange. So our amazing support team writes and maintains the support knowledge base, in addition to all the other amazing work they do. And they have a ton of technical articles out there that will help you with some common and not so common issues. You can get to that at support.sonatype.com. And the Nexus Exchange is a really cool place where you can go for community contributions to Nexus Repository Manager. And that site is available at exchange.sonatype.com. And then finally, you should also check out the Sonatype blog for announcements and information about our products, and also the DevSecOps community as a whole. There's a lot of great blog posts there, and you can access that at blog.sonatype.com. Okay, so now you know what the customer education team is making, and that you can find it at help.sonatype.com/learning. And you also know all about the many customer support and educational resources offered by Sonatype. After this presentation, go check all these out and get to learning. But remember that you can also access all these resources, I think all of them, from mysonatype.com. So go ahead and bookmark that one. It's a good one. But before you do that, let's hear from you. Oh, whoops, that link worked. There we go. So at the beginning of this presentation, I said we wanted to know what you want to learn. After that, we talked a lot about how important it is to put a face on our users And this is because feedback is the #1 driving force behind our value-added content. So now is your chance to get in on the action. We're going to do a quick and easy exercise. I want everyone to think about their experience with our products, what you love, what you hate, what you'd add, what you'd change, whether you're new or a pro, whether you're an admin or a dev. If you have an idea of what you'd like to see as far as education, then think about it for a minute. Okay, well, that was just 5 seconds, not a minute. But when you're ready, go to the new Sonatype community site and post your idea as a reply to the community topic, how we can help you. I'll post a link to it. That's one link, but anyway. You can also just add your topic to the Slack customer success channel after this if you want to. If you want to provide more detailed information, you can complete the survey that's linked in the community topic, because we love your input on what we should do next. So please take a minute or two to let us know. I'm going to put all these links in the Slack channel after this. Okay, that's all I have for today. To quickly sum up what we went over, being a Kickass Nexus user is about giving you the right tools to be awesome at your job. And the Sonatype customer education team is working hard to know who you are and create value-based Nexus content to help you get your job done. In addition to the learning site that we work on, Sonatype has a bunch of other resources to help you learn about and use our products. And we want to know what you want. So please tell us what you want to learn. Go to the community site to take our survey or post an idea of what you'd like to know about. You can also reach out to our team directly anytime. We're education@sonatype.com. And that's all I have.
Great, thank you, Bree. A couple questions for you here.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of resources that you just listed. I mean, I'm astounded at about what we have. There's what I would think, though, is you would think about people at different levels. Where would a beginner start as opposed to somebody who has had some experience with the product? Where would they go? So talk about the different levels of users that would use these types of resources.
Well, I mean, I guess the help documentation and the learning site that we're working on right now is very much for new users. That's who we're focusing on. So I would say definitely go there, but then that's for our modules. But then we also have the more technical articles that we write for advanced users. So I would say the learning site and also our help documentation are both great resources for experienced and new users. But definitely, more experienced users will probably get more out of the help site because it assumes that you have a certain level of knowledge. Like when you look at any topic on there, it doesn't give you a backstory or, you know, prerequisites. So I would say the learning site is probably best for new users.
And then the one that David Rudolph is very high on now, the head of customer success, is the my.sonatype.com site. That is a whole, almost a portal. Talk a little bit about the history and how that came about.
I'd have to ask Nick the history about why it came about, but I mean, I think it came about because we needed a portal. We needed something to consolidate all of these resources that are out there. So that's what I was saying. If you just bookmark, you know, everything we talked about today, if you just bookmark mysonatype.com, you're going to be able to get to all of it. So I think guessing it came about for the need.
All right, great. Well, thank you. If you'll go into the Slack channel for people that have questions, and you can upload your slide deck there too, and that'll keep you going. And do people know how to get a hold of you if they need to? I guess you can do that in the Slack. You can put that in there.
Yeah, I'll put all the links that I talked about in the Slack channel.
Hey, great. All right, thanks.
Okay, thank you.